It has come to my attention that we have an emergency. Once again, there has been devastating news brought to light about the shocking and disgusting behavior of a once respected figure in this community. And let's just say, Lil Wayne wouldn't approve of their actions. This horrific problem has officially gone on for far too long, and it's about time I set things right and exposed it to you once and for all. Something worse than X, and worse than just a GD player, worse than Guitar Hero Styles, worse than anything you could possibly imagine. And that is, of course, that under our nose this entire time, fellow Square Game YouTuber Tride is secretly a giant fucking pussy! And to demonstrate why, we have to go right to the source, an unknown private investigator which is only known as 3 Minute Tangent. Look, in 2015, the Geometry Dash community was in a state of imminent chaos. Creator and Emperor of the Universe Roberto Tapala had too many mince and cheese pies from the bakery and accidentally gave his loyal community of mentally deficient 7-year-olds too many types of building blocks at once. And every creator ever suddenly felt like puking up last night's roast dinner straight onto the Geometry Dash servers. This short-lived period of the game produced some of the greatest, most fascinating, but most importantly fucking terrifying time capsules in all of human history. The early 2.0 era almost instantly became a very highly mythologized time period known by those who were active during this time for making some of the weirdest shit the Geometry Dash player base would ever see. It was also extremely racist, but we don't talk about that part. Diversion! Look at this. Do you want to play this? If you said no, well, back then the only alternative was to look at old Mika thumbnails, so you're out of luck. Sucks for you, piss baby! You're looking at this for the next 6 months and you're gonna like it. But despite everyone having to lower their standards to levels never previously thought possible, there was one level that even they wouldn't touch. A level so bad that even a community this starved to quality refused to even attempt it. This is mental torture. On all metrics, it is easily one of the worst Geometry Dash levels to ever exist. It was created in 1942 as a sick practical joke by the Nazis, which in times of desperation used this as a last resort to attempt to resolve overwhelming political dissent. It was one of the 2 surviving levels manufactured by Hitler himself, and still remains the only level that successfully scares off top players till this day. There's also rumors it's bad for your teeth. Known to us in the business as, "God damn, what the fuck, you beat this bullshit!" Mental torture is easily the most questionable level to appear on my favorites list. Completely unmarked, blind orb timings, an army of restless death blocks, a boss fight that actually isn't a boss fight at all and is actually just a bunch of fire in a box, air deco that was placed haphazardly with no discernible pattern, this thing which stays just off center enough to annoy you, a mountainous range of awful slope gameplay that only works on the moon, exactly one Lenny face. To Geometry Dash veterans, mental torture has become a rite of passage passed down to the new generations as the go-to level to turn a boy into a woman. There is no other level out there that can be placed on someone's resume that ensures trustability quite like this one. It's absolutely imperative that each Geometry Dash figure should have this kept in their archives along with their 3 extra copies of Lust Letter, of course, because if they're beating this, then you can guarantee that they are truly an expert in their field that can be hired at Subway no problem. That is, of course, unless they're a little bitch. Enter Tride, Australian Geometry Dash second wave stream highlight YouTuber and full-time free melatonin dispenser, whose channel reaches the prestigious tier of Geometry Dash YouTubers I can watch more than 10 seconds without vomiting, which may sound like an insult because it is, but when you look at the competition, you will notice that getting into this role is actually way harder than you would expect. Because even though all of his videos are basically just desensitized ramblings of a diseased homeless person repeating the same sentence 53 times, at least I can watch them without wanting to shoot him in the fucking face. I also told you all who he was twice for the one guy who was too dumb to remember what they just heard 3 minutes ago. You're welcome, James. This one's on the house. The only price is that this guy is a fucking scumbag. This man is a severe pathological pussy who hasn't even beaten mental torture like a real man, and I am outraged. I bet you could all agree that this is absolutely unacceptable and cringe. But fear not, everyone. Me, the hero in the story, was ready to fix this injustice once and for all, just like the geriatric boomers over at Metallica would have wanted. Being one of the 6 people in the Geometry Dash community that is willing to speak to me, I knew that Tride could be convinced to follow Severance D's teachings given that he has been yelled at enough times. I subscribed in an effort to fulfill my pledge to comment play mental torture on every new video until like 2 minutes later when I realized that he uploads about 57 times every 15 minutes and quickly turn off notifications before Firefox crashed. But turns out it didn't fucking matter since he doesn't read the comments anyway because they're all filled with the special brand of people who prefer to put their glue in before their cereal, so I was forced to look for other plans of contact. I couldn't just message him on Discord because that would be too easy, and that would be cheating. In a subversion of expectations, it turned out that forcing someone to play a terrible Geometry Dash level they never heard of would end up being quite the challenge. All my plans were falling apart. Sadly, the local New World was out of batteries, so that ruled out getting fancy with explosives. And on top of that, I misplaced my spare jar of peanut butter, which was crucial for the backup plan. So naturally, I turned up to the only other option, which of course was to send him about 8,500 messages on Twitter until he gives in. You know, like a gentleman. Unfortunately, I failed to take into account the possibility of Tride being a little bitch. Dude took one look at all of this and reacted just like the time I tried to cut a homeless guy's dick off with a bendy pencil. Even with a couple homies joining in on the campaign, all we got out of him was a practice run, which surprised me because as you can clearly see in front of you, this level is one of the greatest pieces of media ever created, and to this day is only rivaled in quality by the incredible heights of Buff This 5. Even though earlier I said that this is one of the worst things ever created, it's actually not, because if you use horseshoe theory, you will find out that this level is actually beyond exceptional. Therefore, there is no possible reason that he could not want to play this. The only conceivable motivation for him to reject such an offer this enticing is obvious: shingles. Tride has shingles and he's covering it up by not playing mental torture. Step outside your vehicle, we've caught you red-handed. The only thing you can do now is admit defeat and beat this level. Everyone knows that you've only got 3.5 video ideas, it's about time that you've finally got 4. If you decide correctly to man up and beat the level, I'ma let you live. But if you fail, I'm not only gonna diagnose you with the terminal case of being a pussy-ass bitch who doesn't even piss in the sink like a real man, I'll fly over there myself and beat your dumbass with this Milo tin I found in the bush. Good night, everyone. I look forward to seeing this image in 2023, and also this one, but that one's just for me.